Reverse, game, break, smoke, get you know it up, put on more steam. Protect our kickers, our quarterback, our lead, our ball game. All obstacles, block, cut, side, through the game, tap, this win it. First, you again, here for the first minute. Can everybody keep it there for 6 minutes?
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
All I know is go Vols, because that's all I know. Go Vols!
Doesn't have to be perfect, ain't gonna be perfect. We go compete for 60 freaking minutes. All right, enjoy the opportunity, enjoy the environment, and then go play our butts off, play for one another, and have a hell of a lot of fun. Everybody got me?
Yes,
all right.
To be the man, you gotta beat the man, and I'm saying, woo, right here.
Release him.
Same old devil down the same old dead-end highway. Riding that storm run through my veins like a shot down tailspin airplane. I'm scared of living and I'm scared to death. I can't breathe and I catch my breath. But I keep chasing that same old devil down the same old dead-end highway. Ain't no love in Oklahoma. Just a whistle of a long black train. You know when it's coming for you. Riding here on the wind and rain. Ain't no love in Oklahoma. I got saved in the same red river. The same red river trying to drown. Pray for peace, but I need the thrill. So I keep chasing that same old devil down the same old dead-end highway. Ain't no love in Oklahoma. Just a whistle of a long black train. You'll know when it's coming for you. Riding here on the wind and
Good Wednesday evening. Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name's Boogie Bentley. The boys are here. Dauber's in the house. The X Factor is here. Scoops is in the house once again. Boys, it's Heupel versus Venables. It's Tennessee, Oklahoma. It's a college football playoff eliminator. Dauber, they say the college football playoff starts in a month or so. No, the college football playoff starts Saturday night in Neyland Stadium. Man, you can't ask for a bigger stage. I don't think you need a little pep talk. You're going to be at the game. You don't need any energy, do you? You don't need an energy drink, a Red Bull, a Rockstar. Don't get better than Saturday night.
Big game. You know, you got the whole backstory. Heupel, Oklahoma, all the feelings and emotions that go with that. The love lost that he may have for how things went down with his exit under Stoops, but man, it's an intriguing matchup. You look at everything on paper. You look at the strengths of both of these teams. You look at their weaknesses, and it's interesting because you got good offense going up against good defense, and then you got offense that struggles going up against defense that struggles. But there's one thing that I like going on this weekend. It's in Knoxville. And I'll just leave it at that. I think that is going to be a huge difference maker in this ball game.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree, because I'll just go ahead and say, if we were playing Oklahoma at Oklahoma, I'm sorry, boys. I'm chalking that up as an L. I mean, like I said, I'll be a little negative ball there. Like I said, I definitely chalk that up as an L. But like Dauber said, though, I am excited that it is in Neyland. That's a huge, huge advantage for us. And of course, we'll get into it a little bit later, but rumors has it, like this on Twitter, saying that we might get our cornerback, boys. I said, Jermon McCoy might be coming back, boys. So if this is true, then like I said, I like our odds a lot stronger too. So, but I know we'll get more into it.
Yeah. Boogie opened it up, man. The run starts right now. Got to make a run. It's that do or die season. Obviously, we expect us, having to win out to have a chance at the chasing the playoffs. But man, dark mode activated. Neyland at night. Oklahoma coming here for the first time since 2015. Remember how that went? I've been listening to the Admiral Schofield Neyland Loud video the day after Halloween. Spooky Rocky Top. They're going to go crazy for the game day environment. Dauber, I'm excited to be in Neyland Stadium. It's going to be crazy. It needs to be borderline dangerous, maybe. And man, I'm fired up. That intro got me fired up. There ain't no love in Oklahoma, Boogie.
I feel a little left out. X, do you feel left out? I mean, Dauber's going to the game. Scoops going to the game.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Going to the game.
Just a little bit.
Did anybody ask if you wanted to go to the game?
No, nobody asked me. No,
me either. Me either. Luke Thompson is feeling very generous in the chat. He has gifted, in the last 30 seconds, Luke Thompson has gifted 10 Talkin VAWLS memberships. And I wasn't even thinking about it tonight. But what we do, we try to give away free merchandise every single time we're live. And we got to get 35 free memberships, 35 gifted memberships, or 35 people joining the channel. Luke said, I'm going to knock 10 of them out right out of the gates. He gifted 10 of them. We also got a deal going on. Y'all are gambling in the chat. Boudreaux doesn't have $1. It's only $1 to join the channel. If you got $1, hit the join button. We would appreciate it. Boudreaux ain't got $1. He ain't got $1. He ain't got no love in Oklahoma. So if you guys gift a membership and Boudreaux gets it, whoever gifted it is getting a free shirt. And let's see who got it. Mucho Boomin got one. Jeff Puckett. Richard got one. Annie's mom got one. Gary True got one. It took everything in my power to not say Annie's mom has got it going on. I don't know why that hit my head. Jam and JK, this is where we're at. Got one. Scotch Interest. Saturdays we volunteer. F.O. Folk and Kung Fu Panda. Kung Fu Panda also got a free Talkin VAWLS membership. Luke is not done. Luke gifted 5 more. That is now 15. Jesus. Luke is going crazy. Brian cheap. Franklin, Happy Hermit, Becky, BR243, and Jason White all got free Talkin VAWLS memberships. Luke is not winning, but we're only 20 away from giving away some free Talkin VAWLS merchandise. So get in where you fit in. Shout out. God, y'all are going nuts. I can't keep up with the chat because y'all are gifting so many free memberships. Backflip Spaghetti gifted 5. The Casual Gamer, Adam Higgins, Crazy Corn Snake, Sports with Wolfie, and Jedi for Hire all got free Talkin VAWLS memberships. Did I catch them all?
That's a lot.
You got them, Ash.
This is what happens. I lose complete control of the situation, and I can't keep up with you guys. I can't do math. I can't add all this up. But I think we're 15 away. I'm going to come back because y'all are still going nuts. I think Mrs. Boogie's going to be pissed tonight because I think and there are no profits, by the way. Eric Jones gave a $5 super chat, said Dorfy, GBO, go Vols. Shout out Eric. Samuel Jackson. Samuel Jackson, too. Dorfy, please God, let the D be good on Saturday. Todd's here, drops 2 spots, says Dorfy, GBO. And you know what? Meat Wagon, I put in the chat, if I play this music, we're going to get demonetized. People always say, do it, Boogie, play the music. Meat Wagon says, fire intro, worth getting demonetized. Is it? And I have bills to pay, and Meat Wagon didn't even drop $2 to say it was worth it. If it was worth it, drop those super chats. No money coming to Boogie, and I'm going to give away free merch. This is a problem, Meat Wagon. It's a problem. 2 times for 5 says, pray for me, y'all. Got disqualified, he meant to say, from the Navy, and I have a very low chance of getting a waiver for my arthritis. I hate to hear that, Luke. Have you tried the other branches? Sometimes if you get disqualified from one, maybe the Air Force can get you in. Hate to hear that, man. Best of luck to you. Tonto for 5 said, did Garner sign his extension? I heard he didn't. No, he did not. Scoops, do you have any information on that? Like, I have not. I know Garner didn't sign his extension. Somebody specifically to VolQuest, and they said he was not planning to retire. Any thought?
I want to see a wait and see approach, because seeing how the season plays out and seeing if he eventually does sign. I don't think he's eyeing anywhere else or looking to go end his career somewhere else. Honestly, I know his daughters, attended UT and we're going to school there. I'm not sure if they graduated or they're still in that program, but I mean, right now, man, I think that probably there's some X's and O's, some maybe some promises, just overall structure of what the defense is going to be. I mean, right now we obviously know just the talent, isn't what it was last year. Trying to rebuild that, and he's on his way out, man. So he's obviously trying to leave it better than he found it. And our assistants have done a hell of a job, but I don't think it's a sore thumb or a bad look yet. We'll let it play out, see if a signature gets on there in black and white, and I'm not too worried yet.
Let me continue to catch up, and let me just throw this in here too. Dauber, what are your thoughts if Garner does elect to move on? You've got Coach Chop, who has been working on it. When you talk about recruiting, Coach Chop really gets mentioned more by the defensive linemen that get recruited at Tennessee more than Coach G does at this point. And I'm not disrespecting Coach G, best defensive line coach in the country, but he also has Robert Ayers as an analyst that's working underneath him. I think Robert Ayers knows a little something about playing on the defensive line.
Yeah, I mean, there are guys that can fill that spot. Granted, that would be a legend and probably one of the best guys in the game if he were to move on. I'll put on a tinfoil hat here for a minute. You think maybe he's holding on for see if there's a defensive coordinator position opening up?
I don't know. Do you think Coach G wants? I don't think he wants to be a defensive coordinator. I mean, how many years has the dude coached on the defensive line and never really sought that out? I think he has his niche, and that's his position group, and that's his bread and butter. But like I said, just kind of throwing something out there to get you thinking. But yeah, there are definitely guys that are well qualified, and they've learned from a legend. If Coach G is, hanging it up, moving on, throwing his hands up, wondering what the hell is going on with this defense after they were so good last year to be, it's mind boggling to see, you're leading the country in some stats, and then you're bringing up the rear in others. How can a defense be so good in certain aspects and be, hot garbage in other statistics? I don't want to bury the lead, and it is mind-boggling. But when you look at where this team has been hit with injuries, we got hit on the defensive line, we got hit on the interior of the defensive line. But when you talk about specifically, and talked about this a ton. But the way things have played out, Boo Carter, I'm just going to keep saying it. I don't care, right, wrong, or indifferent. He's not bought in. So he found himself going from the starting at the star position to being the second string. And that means that Jalen McCullough goes from being a guy that's in the 2 deep at corner to now you're going to be starting at star. Welcome to the SEC, right? And no disrespect to him. Did I just call him Jalen McCullough again? I do it all the time, dude.
Yeah, I think
Scoops is muted.
I'm calling him Jalen McCullough. Crazy.
Dude, do you know how many times I've done that? Do you know how many times I've done it with Kaner, and then I've got Kaner's doing it now?
It's like you go to sleep at night and you see Jalen McCullough in your dreams.
Yes. Jalen McMurray. Good Lord. I knew I did it. I realized I did it as I continue to talk. But you're moving him from being in the 2 deep at corner to starting at star, and then obviously because of the injuries, and now we're talking about another one with Colton Hood, but I don't want to bury the lead. We're going to get into that. We're going to talk about the injuries. Let me continue to catch up with you guys in the chat because y'all are going nuts. So are the Demon gifted 5 Talkin VAWLS memberships. I already checked them. You guys are putting the $5 bill in the slot machine, pulling it, and nobody Nobody is gifting Boudreaux a membership, but Noah James gifted one. Appreciate you, Noah. GBO Kyle Beach became a member of the channel. You guys can also do that. Hit the join button. We would appreciate it. Eric B. Jones gifted a Talkin VAWLS membership. Shout out, Eric. We appreciate you. And then Backflip Spaghetti said, Boogie, you're giving away free merchandise. I am gifting 20 Talkin VAWLS membership. Do you know what 20 Talkin VAWLS memberships is? That is the equivalent
right?
of a hundo. That's the equivalent of a hundo. We'll play the clip for Backflip Spaghetti.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man.
I'm also putting him in as the top donation of the night and the top donation of the month because that was $100. Shout out Backflip Spaghetti. That's very generous, my man. Sean Cross for 5 says Boudreaux can jump on a rake. Sean is not happy. Hey, we're trying to get him a free membership. Meat Wagon for 5 says, I got you, Boogie. Now it was worth being demonetized. Going to be in Neyland this weekend, ready to give my all. GBO, shout out Meat Wagon. We appreciate you. Still don't have my invitation to go hang out.
I still don't have it either, but it's okay. It's all right.
That's right.
Yeah,
Does that just show y'all how big of a big game feel this is, man? You got the chat going crazy, gifting membership. Obviously it's Halloween weekend, something in the air, the whole dark mode thing. Man, it seems like
a must win. It's definitely a must win.
Even though you have that 6-2 record, you're kind of playing like you have to win out, man. The energy, the big game feeling, obviously everything that comes into play with Heupel and Oklahoma, it just kind of feels like this one means more. And I feel like our fan base has been itching for this game since 2015, and we're gonna get that this Saturday.
Our fan base goes through highs and lows, right? Emotionally, they're down right now. It started with the Mississippi State game, the Arkansas game. You lose to Alabama. Our fan base is like, well, screw this. I talk about it a lot. You can see it in the numbers. Who's watching our stuff? Who's watching VolQuest? How many people are on the message boards or in the chat rooms and talking about Tennessee football? And it faded away. But everything is on the line on Saturday night, and I think our fan base feels it. Like you said, Scoops, it's dark mode. It's Neyland at night. This is the one. When you look at the schedule, you mentioned earlier, if this is on the road, you're taking Tennessee to lose. I can't argue with that. I can't disagree with that. And we got to go on the road to Florida in the Swamp. I still think, even though Oklahoma's coming to Neyland, I think this is the one. If you told me I could guarantee a win, I said this the other night, take the emotions of going to the Swamp and checking that box and getting that monkey off of Heupel's back. You're talking pure X's and O's and talent. This is the game that I want a guaranteed win. This is the one. You win tonight, you feel a whole lot better about a shot at the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's why, like I was saying earlier, this is definitely a must-win game. And yeah, like Scoops was saying, man, this is going to bring a lot of high energy into Neyland because, like I said, we know the backstory with Josh Heupel in Oklahoma. We know his history with the program. Then, of course, what happened, a couple years back when they came to Neyland, when Baker was on the team. So yeah, this is definitely a must win, man. So yeah, if you get this dub right here, man, and I'll just go ahead and say it. If you get this dub right here, you're going to the playoffs. I mean, that's just kind of how it feels at this point. So yeah, if you get this dub in Neyland, and that's you take care of Florida once we get there, and then of course you got little brother coming into town. You take care of first. We got to take care of Oklahoma, and then of course the rest will say for itself. But yeah. This is definitely a must win, but yeah, you win this, you're going to the playoffs.
Dauber, I know you've talked about it several times, but you look at the schedule, and I was watching Josh Pate right before we went live, and Josh Pate likes Tennessee in this game. He likes the matchup with Tennessee and Oklahoma. He thinks Tennessee's offense is going to light up the scoreboard, and he doesn't have enough confidence in Oklahoma. You get this win. You got New Mexico State. You got a bye week, and then you got a glorified scrimmage with New Mexico State. If you find a way to go down to the Swamp, and you get that win. Dauber, we're talking about November the 29th. I love the way that Josh Pate phrased it. We're talking about a couple of days after Thanksgiving. We're all a few pounds heavier. We've been eating that turkey. Fall is in the air, and little brother is coming to town. Little brother is coming to Neyland Stadium on the Saturday after Thanksgiving, and the college football playoff is not just on the line for Tennessee. We've seen that before. You got to take care of business. But it's also possibly on the line for Vanderbilt. I didn't have that on my bingo card before the season started.
Not at all. I think I said it last week. What kind of world are we living in where that's the reality that could play out? But listen, I'm not gonna count my chickens before they hatch. Saturday is a big game. You can't look ahead to going to Gainesville. You can't look ahead to November 29th and Vanderbilt and Diego Pavia, and all the talk that he's been doing and all of that. You've got to take care of business at home in Knoxville, and you've got things to clean up, regardless of who's out on the field. And that's the thing. And I know everybody's on Tim Banks and Willie Martinez, and you can't make excuses with injuries because it's next man up. But man, just some of the things that we've seen the last couple of games from this team, the poor tackling, missed assignments, not being in the right lane. It's bad execution. And it's hard to pin it all on the coaches, because is it coaches or is it just execution or lack of execution? I guess I should say.
I can't answer that question because I ask it all the time too. Like, Tennessee is a horrible tackling team, and so many people just point to the coaches. Oh, it's poor coaching. Is it? And they're obviously coaching. Reps is a big one that Coach Jay likes to talk about a lot. And I compare that to jiu-jitsu. Everybody's got a number. You have to put in the work. You have to put in the practice. You have to put in the reps. But is it coaching to just go out there and do your job and get somebody to the ground? You know how to tackle. You've been tackling since Pee Wee football. You've been taught the little catchphrases that some people like to throw around on this channel. You've been taught that since you were in Pee Wee. You don't know how to tackle all of a sudden? Scoops, do you have any thoughts on that when we talk about tackling? To me, when we talk about coaches, we talk about X's and O's. I talk about scheme. I talk about game plan, and I get it. Fundamentals is a huge part of coaching the game, but we don't know how to tackle.
I mean, you had a veteran guy in Dominic Bailey just be like straight up like, yeah, we don't know. We're not great at tackling, man. Like, it's our worst thing. And like, honestly, the game in the play shows for itself. The yards after catch. Like, I got a Kentucky game over here on the screen. Like, Cutter Boley looking like a Heisman candidate, not making that first tackle, not going full speed, not putting your shoulder in a guy and putting them down. I mean, sometimes we're out there giving half effort. And I mean, you got if I feel like if Inky Johnson and a lot of those guys that gave their all for the power tier watching that, like, that probably makes them upset, man. But yeah, it just comes down to the fundamentals. Wilson. Yeah, like, it comes down to the fundamentals. Being where you're supposed to be, lining up where you're supposed to be. I know it's cliche, but it really does matter when you're obviously a step away from a guy and you're missing assignments, you're missing a tackle, and then you're seeing guys like Jaden Perlotti come out here and fire like a missile. So you know that you can fix it. You know that it's an issue, but right now, like we said, like we're playing for the playoffs. We have to go on this run, and those mistakes at this point super critical. Because you can go out there and trust the Tennessee offense to go out there and play. But when it comes to making plays, like Dauber and X said, man, the fact that we are like so highly rated in turnovers and sacks, but when it comes to passing things like that, yeah, man, like tackling, getting these guys behind the line of scrimmage, getting off the field. I mean, if we're talking about night and day. I mean, a veteran guy like that going to the media and publicly saying that yo, like we got to fix our tackling. I mean, that's just I feel like a shot from Dom being like, yo, guys, we got to lock in.
Yeah, because I'll just add on to this too, man. Like I said, if we don't get the tackle and handle, and think about it, this is all fundamentals, right? I mean, it's just basic fundamentals, and you got to know your fundamentals. So if we're just piss poor and tackling like this, and then we'll eventually, let's say if we win out and we go to the playoffs, let's say if we do run into Ohio State again, let's say if we run into a better team, like Indiana or somebody, in the playoffs, I'm not really too confident going into the playoffs if we're playing just piss poor defense like this. I mean, I just don't feel confident at all. So yeah, you definitely gotta clean that up, like, going forward.
Give me Indiana and give me the Vols by 50.
That's just so crazy that like I hear X and like that's such a valid point that yeah, like Indiana is so dangerous, but having to put into my mind that Indiana is dangerous. Vanderbilt and Tennessee are probably playing for a playoff spot. I've already told extended family we are doing Thanksgiving on Thanksgiving Day, not the weekend, because I will be in Knoxville watching Diego Pavia in Neyland Stadium. Like, that's a game that I have to see. And it's
don't ever say that again. You're going to be watching Joey Aguilar. I don't ever want to hear those words come out of your mouth again. I'm going to be in Neyland Stadium watching Diego Pavia.
Okay, going to be. Hold on, let me fix it. I'm going to be in Neyland Stadium watching Joshua Josephs abuse Diego Pavia.
There you go.
Thank you.
There you go.
There we go.
All right, let me hit a couple of more real quick. Appalachian Adventures for Two says here's for the prior Metallica intro. Shout out Appalachian Adventures. Corey Smith gifted 5 Talkin VAWLS memberships. You guys got it across the finish line. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Don't do it in the live chat. It's got to be in the comments. After the show is over, it's going to process and become a video. And then the comment section opens. So again, not in the live chat. So many people get this confused. Not in the live chat, in the comment section after the video. Put your score prediction, and you got to be a member of the channel. I'm going to give the free merchandise to a member of the channel. Put your score prediction in the comments after the video. I will choose one of the members, and we'll give away that Talkin VAWLS merch. Backflip Spaghetti says, I think some of our tackling issues stem from trying to strip the ball out at contact. Am I wrong? 38-27 Vols. There's a lot of shoulder dropping, right? A lot of shoulder dropping, pad popping.
Saw a lot of that in the Alabama game. Yeah, we saw a lot of that in the Alabama game.
Sometimes like we're making contact, we're trying to create turnovers, but sometimes like we're not even there. Sometimes like we're a step behind, and like that play where it was, I think it was the Bama game, and Ty Redmond and Turrentine Trace, going after a guy, and like they kind of just let up and let him in like into the end zone. I mean, we see that every now and then. Sometimes it really is just being 100% giving your all and actually trying to stop a guy.
Bookham Dano for 5 says, go big orange. Shout out Bookham Dano. I appreciate you guys showing up, showing out, showing love tonight. We got demonetized. It was worth it. We got 250 people watching. If you haven't smashed the thumbs up yet, smash it, share it out, all that good stuff. We would appreciate it. Let's talk about injuries. Let's talk about the secondary, because that has been a weakness. Yes, tackling has been a weakness. Tackling across the board, I would say more so second and third levels have struggled to tackle versus the defensive lines. A little bit more sound with tackling. But when we look at this defense, the struggles are on the back end, whether that's giving up explosive plays, whether that is miscommunication, whatever's happening on the back end. Obviously, Jermon McCoy's out. Ricky Gibson's out. Now we're worried about Colton Hood. Pete Nakos put this out today. I made a video on it, but if you missed it, we're going to talk about it. Tennessee corner Jermon McCoy continues to work to return this season, barring a setback. Sources tell Chris Lowe and me for On3 Sports. The All-American was in pads at practice on Tuesday, but remains limited, sources said. Now, the article goes on to say the Volunteers play Oklahoma on Saturday, followed by a bye week and hosting New Mexico State on the 15th. If he can take a step forward and practice on the bye, he could make a return for the final 3 games of the season. Somebody asked Austin Price about it. He said he was out there today. Still thinks post-bye week makes the most sense. Said, would it shock me if he played this week? No, but I still think that is a long shot. As of now, has not gone through any contact drills to AP's knowledge. But Dauber, for me, when we look at this, because it's the narrative, and it drives me nuts, and maybe I'm guilty of it too, because I've said the words have come out of my mouth. I don't know that Jermon McCoy's coming back this year. When we start putting a narrative out there that he's selfish and he's focused on himself and he's focused on the NFL, I think Jermon McCoy is just trying to get healthy. I think Jermon McCoy is just trying to get right. A guy that plays corner that's coming off of a blown ACL, that's the toughest position to respond to. And I know Uncle Kenny's in the chat talking about Jaden Lofton, also dealt with a knee injury his senior season of high school. It takes time to recover from that. But to me, I don't think Jermon McCoy is being selfish. I don't think Jermon McCoy is shutting it down when he's still putting the pads on and he's still going to practice and he's still testing himself to try to get back, Dauber.
I think he's got that mentality. He's a player. He wants to get out there and play, and he's grinding his way back to that. I don't think it's a case of him, sitting out. I think he's not been cleared. He's limited. I think he's wanted to be back earlier, but I do think if reports are accurate, I think having the bye week coming up, I think we could very well see him throw on the. It won't be the orange. He'll throw on the white, the road uni, and play in Gainesville, and I think that will help. But listen, there's going to be a lot of rust to knock off. I mean, you are talking about an All-American and uber talented guy that lit it up last year and was a bright spot. But I don't expect them to come in and just put people on islands and lock it down and look like nothing ever happened. Will he be an upgrade from what we've seen? Yeah, I mean, possibly. But that's not saying a whole lot. But the thing is, do you want to take a chance right now and rush him back?
I wouldn't.
And you know, I think that's where I trust Hype and this training and medical staff to do the best for this team, but also for McCoy himself as an individual and a guy who has a livelihood post Tennessee playing football.
I think the same, man. Like obviously, you're watching him. You know, he tried to give it a go before the Mississippi State game. He obviously has some swell in there. You can't really rush it, and really, right now is kind of the expected. You know, right now is what 9 months in the 9 to 12 month process. So trying to just give a feel out there for him. To see the report out there was, kind of like an eye opening, like maybe a eyebrow raise. I think I agree with them, man. Like on the outside looking in. Maybe he has an outside chance of playing this weekend, but you take this week off, you get some practice, maybe get some contact in next week, and then go out there on a glorified, bye week against New Mexico State. Get a few, maybe a couple, drives in there, like, David Sanders did coming back from injury, work your way back, and then, go on the road against Florida, and maybe you have your first real start. But, we're going to need all the help we can get, man. Well, like Josh Heupel, like you said, Dauber, Heupel and, the staff, they want the best for the players. They'll always refer us to the injury report that we'll get around 7:15. But, if that comes out today and we see maybe even a doubtful or a questionable, I feel like that'll be a good sign in the process, man, because
that's a big positive.
Yeah, just based off that alone, obviously you're watching Colton Hood. Arion Carter's probably going to be out, but with Jamal McCoy, they say, our defense, we have some arrows in there, we have some holes or whatever, and one guy being back isn't going to fix it. But when it's an All-American corner, first round draft pick lock, man,
feel good. Yeah, so, makes you feel a whole lot better. Yeah, because Jamal's just one player, and like I said, an All-American player at that. Like I said, when he comes back, is definitely going to be a huge help in the backfield. But like what you said, Scoots, man, like just because he comes back doesn't mean the whole defense, they still need to play better, as a whole collective group. So, but yeah, I mean, when I first saw this, I was very excited. And then I was like you, Boog, I was sitting there thinking, I didn't think he was ever going to come back for the season, because the ACL, injury is really, really tough to come back and heal from. Of course, I know, with modern medicine and everything, you can heal it a lot faster now. But with this bye week coming up, I said after this Oklahoma, and then the game, then you got the bye week coming up. I definitely probably the timetable. Hopefully, we might see him in Gainesville. But I mean, even if we don't, I would definitely save him for the playoffs for sure. You take care of Oklahoma, and then you take care of the Gators, and you win out. And then I could definitely see him returning back for the playoffs for sure.
I saw somebody on VolQuest that posted in regards to all this and said, if you beat Oklahoma, then you get geared up and ready to come back. If you lose to Oklahoma, shut it down. You're not going to the playoffs. Get ready for the NFL draft. I could see that. But also you brought up, Scoops, you brought up the injury report, which we're waiting to come out. We'll see what it says. If it comes out, it usually comes out while we're live. It should be coming out. Isn't it 7:30? Usually like any minute
in between 7:15, 7:30.
Yeah. So we'll be looking for that and get that update when it comes out. But I find it convenient, Scoops, that we're waiting on that. And Pete Nakos drops this news, right? Because it's not like Josh Heupel sitting around in an office going, all right, it's 7:15. I got to write this down and fax it in real quick. No, this is known. Like Arion Carter, you saying likely that he doesn't play. Pete Nakos in this article says that Arion Carter is doubtful for Saturday's game. Colton Hood says in the article, sources described him as day-to-day, viewed as questionable for Saturday against Oklahoma. I guarantee you, when this injury report comes out, Colton Hood is going to be questionable. Arion Carter is going to be doubtful, and then we'll see. I think Dauber brings up a good point, too. We'll see what Jamal McCoy has to say. But this is all leaked from what's going to come out here in a few minutes.
And that those sources that he says sources said, like, in the back of your mind probably what circle that's coming from. And I mean, the truth is that he has been in pads. He has been trying to give it a go. And then, as he kind of ramps it up, maybe, just maybe, like even AP alluded that, you can't say 100% that he's not going to have some kind of action Saturday if needed. But you got to see if like what the report says. If it says doubtful, then you kind of, have in your mind frame that, hey, it's probably not going to be this week, but this bye week, and then if Tennessee wins, I think that's the biggest thing, man. If Tennessee wins this game, and the 10-2 is on the line going to the college football playoffs, if he went out, I think that he ramps it up and he probably gives it a go. We'll find out in like about 30 minutes. But the fact that he's in pads, he's doing the running drills, he's been working his way back. This guy is a guaranteed millionaire, and he still wants to give his all for the Power T. He still wants to play with his guys. He's always, the chatter has been that whenever he's healthy, he wants to go out there and play. And that's not just for draft stock, man. That's just a gamer. He's always been a gamer. So we'll see what it says, man. But the fact that he's giving it a go, this is the first step, getting back. The reaction that if he practiced today, that's more consecutive practice than he had the last time. And we'll see how the body reacts, man. But the next step, get him a little bit of contact, do some little drills, see how his body reacts to a little bit of full speed, and then you let that guy fly if he wants to play.
Obviously, I was excited to see the news that McCoy, he wants to be back. That's what I took from the article. Not that he's back, that he's going to play, that he wants to be back. That's his mindset. But Dauber, obviously, probably the bigger concern right now is Colton Hood. If he's questionable, we go into that Oklahoma game. If he doesn't play, you're talking about Ty Redmond as a true freshman. You're talking about William Wright, a walk-on, and Timothy Merritt is the next man up, another true freshman. That's a problem if Colton Hood can't give it a go. And that injury, I'm not a doctor. I listen to people in the chat. That injury, if you're talking about that calf strain, if you come back too soon, if the rehab doesn't respond, you're talking about a torn Achilles, and now you're messing with your career at that point.
Yeah. What is it in Oh Brother, We're Out Now? Damn, we in a tight spot. Man. Yeah, it is certainly going to be interesting to see the report come out, and it's going to be interesting to see who is on the back end of that defense Saturday, and if they can step up and make some plays. The thing that scares me, and this may just be battered Vols syndrome, you got Mateer who was lighting it up to begin the year.
Mm-hmm.
Then he got hurt. Hasn't looked near as good since his injury, and I guess he ended up having surgery on his thumb or whatever it was. But have him come back out and this be his get back party,
his Heisman party,
where he comes out and looks like a stud and just lights it up. And don't get me wrong. I think the problems on the back end can be mitigated by a good rush, keeping him in the pocket, not letting him scramble and extend plays, and getting to him, putting pressure on him, because he is prone to making mistakes if you kind of get him rattled. So I want to see the defensive front step up and help these guys on the back end. But yeah, like you said, if Hood is a no-go, it's going to be tough sledding. I think it turns into a shootout, and like I said at the top of the show, there are a lot of things that are interesting when you look at this game on paper, but there is one thing that I like in Tennessee's favor, and that's in Neyland at night, dark mode, a lot of mojo going for this team, and that can help pick up some slack in deficiencies.
You mentioned the word shootout, and that's what I see a lot of people. I saw people in the chat. It's not just this game, it's every game the rest of the way. And I think Tennessee can beat any team in the country in a shootout. J.D. Piquel was talking about that. We're going to get into that here in just a second. Let me continue to catch up with you guys in the chat. Derek Manning became a member of the channel. Shout out, Derek. We appreciate that support. If you're not a member, hit the join button. It's $1. Got $1. I need $1. Hit the join button. I will take that $1. And you'll keep the lights on around here. We appreciate you, Derek. Luke Thompson for 2 says 59-0 Vols. Go out there and dominate. Hold on a second. 59-0. I now figured out why you got disqualified from the Navy. 59-0.
He said, he said, give me balls by 60.
Balls by almost city. Balls by
balls
almost
by
city. Tennessee, Tonto for 5. Oklahoma O-line can't block, according to Pate. We'll talk about that here in just a little bit, but I want to talk about a shootout. Tennessee, can they win a shootout? And let's just start this off. Let's take a listen to what J.D. Pickell had to say.
What I think is going to happen here is we're going to have a situation where this game becomes a shootout. And a shootout to me here, if I'm Joey Aguilar, I feel pretty good about my chances with my offense and my weapons. But at the same time, if you told Oklahoma fans we're going to be in a shootout, I don't think they're batting an eye with John Mateer pulling the trigger. So it's going to be a lot of fun to watch these teams go back and forth offensively. And one more thought here, both teams are desperate.
We've talked about that. We've touched on that. It's now or never. It's must win. You have to win this football game. But I think it's funny, Scoops. He talks about, Tennessee fans, we're ready for a shootout. We're down for a shootout. We're down for a shootout for different reasons. I can rattle off all of Joey Aguilar's stats, all of Joey Aguilar's numbers, the 3 wide receivers in the top 7, all the touchdown receptions. I can rattle off all the numbers of why we're confident. Meanwhile, Oklahoma's confidence, because our defense isn't very good. What are your thoughts if this thing does come down to a shootout? Confident in Tennessee?
If you're a fan of safety play in college football, this is not going to be the game for you. Obviously, we know our safety play. We know what we got. Oklahoma, their fans are referring to their safety play. This could end up being like a Big 12 classic kind of game, just a Red River shootout how it was back in the day. But I could also see this being like last week's A&M and LSU, where we just kind of pull away deep. We're gonna have to go out there and see, how the game flows, man. But both firing off the offense. I trust Joey Aguilar and Brazel more than I do anybody. The best deep threat combo in the nation, in my opinion. Joey Aguilar, the best deep threat quarterback in the nation, who made it just look completely easy in Kroger Field. But I don't know, man. I don't know if I see a shootout. I know that, Mateer, we're going to make him look like a Heisman candidate probably. He's going to be able to go out there and play in space with our defense. But when I'm putting it all on the line, man, and what we do, offensively and coming back for Mateer and how it is going to be on the road in a Neyland loud environment, I could see the possibility of it being a shootout, but I think that we're going to be able to kind of edge off, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, like you said, Scoops, I definitely like our chances in a shootout, especially like I said, we got 3 studs, Mike Matthews, Braden Staley, and of course, like I said, our leader, like I said, receiving, like I said, Chris Brazel. I like my chances a lot right there. And then this makes me feel even better. Like I said, I don't even really know Oklahoma's wide receivers like that. So that should tell you of how confident I am with our wide receivers and our offense versus Oklahoma in the shootout. So, yeah, I definitely will take our chances with that for sure.
It goes back to what Dauber said, though. It's such an interesting matchup because our offense is really good, one of the best in the country. Their defense is really good, one of the best in the country. So it's like, can we score on their defense? And then on the flip side, their offense isn't very good, and our defense has not been very good. It's going to come down, if it is a shootout, who's going to get that stop? Is the defense going to force one of those turnovers? Is the defense going to have a defensive touchdown? If we're in a shootout and it's 41-40 and we need a stop by the defense, who do you want to be in that situation? Do you want Joey Aguilar to have the football down for the last drive, or do you want Mateer to have the football and our defense be out there and you have to have a stop? I think I know your answer.
I don't want to see that. Don't even speak that into existence there, Boogie.
So, but the defense, even if it's a shootout, is going to have to get a stop. That's my point.
I'm going with Joey in the offense.
I know, X talks about our wide receivers, and I think that like we have 3 of the top 4 or 5 when it comes to yards, but I think the sole other one in the conference comes from Oklahoma with Isaiah Sategna, the 3rd. So he's definitely a guy that's going to be a threat for them. The way he plays in space, that's number 1. Public enemy number 1 for me whenever we're in the passing game. When it comes to a shootout, man, and Joey Aguilar, what we saw this past weekend, the fact that maybe he didn't even compete that much in practice last week, Boogie, the way that he was able to go out there and throw the ball, just be a dead eye in the deep ball, and the way that that's kind of brought life back into this offense. When it comes to a shootout, man, I'm taking Joey Aguilar. I'm taking the Vols. John Mateer pre-surgery, 275 yards per game on 11.7 yards per completion on 67%. post surgery, 191 yards per game. On 10 yards per completion on 58%. That thumb, I mean, maybe it is, he's rushed it back. Maybe he's going to be, he's just now getting healthy, but he's gone out there and said that it's fundamentals, it's game speed, it's things that he can correct. And we're going to see that this weekend going in a road environment in Neyland. Maybe it does turn into a shootout, man, but I think that the accuracy, the consistency, and what we've been able to do just based off of competition and who we've played, in that instance, man, I'm taking Josh Heupel. I'm taking the game wizard. I'm taking Joey Aguilar because one thing that we have on our staff that's going to be a key weapon, I think, is Seth Littrell, who knows that Oklahoma defense, man. There's going to be some wrinkles. There's going to be some explosive plays, and I think that's going to be the edge because once we take the top off, they're not getting back up.
And I think you brought up a good point with Mateer post injury. He's not been the same. Same guy. Over 300 yards a game prior to the injury. After the injury, it's like if you look step by step each game, there is an outlying stat that looks atrocious, right? 3 interceptions against Texas. Also got sacked 5 times in that game. He only had 150 passes. If you go look at the stats for that Oklahoma-South Carolina game, both teams it's embarrassing. It's just an offensive struggle. 150 passing yards in that game. Last week against Ole Miss, his QBR, 45.1. He has not been the same dude. He's not running the football as efficiently. I don't think he's healthy, and I think that is a huge factor in this game. But also, battered ball syndrome says, Scoops, you're right. He's going to come out and look like that Heisman Trophy candidate at the beginning of the year. X, I cut you off. Go ahead.
No, you're good. I was just going to add on, too, is that, we keep alluding to it, all tonight. Like I said, the big advantage of it is, though, because, you numbered off all the stats and stuff. And, like I said, I think he's looked bad every single game that he's played in thus far. But what plays into our advantage as well is that we got the Neyland effect. I don't think John Mateer has ever experienced a place like Neyland. So, and the plus, on top of it, if he's injured and he's coming into Neyland, like I said, I like our chances right there as well.
Let me catch up with the chat real quick. Luke Thompson for 2 says, wow. I love you, Luke. I appreciate you, brother. Gary Harper for 10 says, Mateer is no Cutter Bowley. We will win by double digits.
Whoa.
I don't even know how to take that, Gary.
No,
I don't even know how to take that, Gary. I can't.
That's orange-colored glasses, man.
I don't know if I could. I don't know how to take that. Man, I sat here all week long talking about Cutter Bowley and his 4 touchdowns. So he goes out and throws 5 against Tennessee. We appreciate the super chat. Wade Rouse has been around here for 47 months. Me and my boy Dauber will be holding it down in Neyland to get what? Oh. Excuse me, X. Did you get an invite?
No, I didn't. And look, we're meeting with our fans at Neyland.
What is going on?
I don't know.
What is going on? Dauber's going to be there, and Coach Jay's son's going to be there. Everybody is going to be there, except
I'm responsible for making sure that Coach Jay's son has a good tailgating experience.
That is a horrible decision, by the way. Horrible decision. Horrible decision. Oh, that's not going to end well. It's going to end in handcuffs. Would invite you. Yeah, no, you wouldn't. Going to be a good game. I got the Vols 31-24. Can't wait to be back in the greatest state tomorrow. Go Vols. Thank you, Wade. We appreciate the support. Wade has also has the Talkin Vols logo tattooed on his body. Not the only person. Chuck has the tattoo. Who else has? There's 3 or 4 people have Talkin Vols tattoos. I know Wade's one. I know Chuck's one. And there's somebody else that I can't remember. Let's hear more from JD Piquel. I bet he has a Talkin Vols tattoo somewhere on his body. He's a big fan. Big fan.
But you know what? Let's talk a little Vols. That is not me trying to take any shine away from the phenomenal channel Talkin Vols and my guy Boogie Bentley runs. So shout out to them. But let's talk a little Vols here.
He's got it tatted on his arm right here. Like I said, just that shirt.
Shout out, JD.
He's got
a
lot of orange blood in his body.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He used to be a friend of the channel until they said, you do have a team called VolQuest that you never promote. You always promote that idiot Boogie. And he left me on red ever since then. Where you been, JD? Answer my calls, bro. Answer my calls, JD. Left me on red.
Teams have 2 losses. This is a playoff elimination game for both sides of this. People are saying the playoff starts in December and after conference title weekend. No, this playoff starts for Oklahoma and Tennessee this weekend in Neyland Stadium with the dark mode unis activated for Joey Aguilar and company. So when you're desperate, you find ways to push back or push past rather maybe some of the things that you've shown to this point in the year. Like I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Oklahoma play with an inspired effort offensively and do some things we haven't seen them do in a couple of weeks. Same deal for Tennessee. Maybe the defense shows up and does some things that they haven't done to this point in the year. Maybe they look better. But again, I'm sticking to shootout kind of fashion, and desperate attitude for both teams will make for an awesome ball game. It's why it's our BetMGM game of the week.
So JD Piquel says maybe the defense finally steps up and gets some stops. Again, we kind of had this conversation before he got to that point. I can rattle off all the numbers, Dauber, but can the defense do enough if it is a shootout? I mean, I don't need to rattle off the numbers. The big one for me, and again, watching that Josh Pate video, 12 missed tackles per game. Per game, 12 missed tackles per game. That's awful. I don't know where that ranks nationally. It's probably not even on the freaking graph because it's so bad.
Good.
Yeah,
1,100, over 1,100 yards after contact from missed tackles. Do you know what happens? That's 137.5 yards per game, Dauber. Do you know what happens if you take that out of the total offense? If you just remove missed tackles, we go from the 99th best defense in the country to the 10th best defense in the country. That's how much missing tackles is impacting this game. 126th in the country in explosive plays. Somehow we get after the quarterback. We get tackles for loss. We play behind the line of scrimmage. Where's your confidence in this defense, Dauber? I laid it out for you earlier, and you just went, nope, I don't want that. Give me Joey. And then you stopped talking.
I keep waiting for the defense to show up. Like I said, there's statistics where they're nearing the end of the field, and he can't get much worse than they've been. And I keep waiting for him to show. Listen, I don't care who's out there on the field. These guys are D1 athletes at a Power 5 school. They know how to tackle. It's not like they don't know how to tackle. They're just not doing it. Like Scoop said, they're a step late. They're out of position, and then they're, as Coach Jay would say, they're not getting their ass down and their hat up. They're not doing it right. And at the end of the day, you gotta have some want in you. It's you gotta have a little bit of that dog. And I think some of these guys are, I don't know. You are literally playing for a chance to get into the playoffs. And I mean, you got to show up. And I don't think there's going to be an issue for anybody not showing up this weekend, because I think the atmosphere and the crowd and just everything going on, that weighs heavy in Tennessee's favor. That's going to be a shot of adrenaline that this defense needs. And I hope that it, kind of sets the tone and the offense, they're going to score their points. They're going to do theirs. If it's a shootout, man, you just hope for, holding them to a couple field goals. The other thing, this defense is not very good in the red zone. I did not write it down, but I looked up those stats today. They're pretty bad there too. So you got to stop a drive before it gets going. You got to get off the field on third or fourth down. That's something we've been talking about for the last couple of weeks. But I think this week I've got confidence that there are going to be some things cleaned up, and like I said, the mojo is going to be on the side of the Big Orange Saturday, I believe.
Let me hit a couple more super chats real quick. Mountain Medic, is that right? Is it Mountain? MNT Medic. I've always said Mountain Medic. I don't know that that's Mountain, but we're going to say Mountain Medic because I like it.
I would say it. Yeah, that's how I would say it.
Says never fails. Whoever we play, they play their best game of the season whenever they come up against Tennessee. GBO. Yep, that is for sure. Wade Rouse for 5 says I was the first one with the tattoo. And we got to meet sometime, Boogie. So pull up Saturday. You're invited now. Go Big Damn Orange. I got plans, man. I'm busy on Saturday. I can't come down there. You kidding me? Somebody's got to hold the fort down around here with everybody else going to the game. Somebody's got to keep the lights on. Shout out Wade, though, man. Appreciate the super chat. Appreciate the support. Let's jump into some predictions. We're going to let X roll it out first. I do want to say, let me do some plugs and some shills real quick. If you guys have not smashed the thumbs up yet, do me a favor and smash that thumbs up. You can also go grab some Talkin Vols merchandise at bonfire.com/store/Talkin Vols, rivalry shirts, Talkin Vols logo shirts, Nike merch, golf polos, quarter zips, windbreakers, coffee mugs, whatever you got, bonfire.com/store/Talkin Vols. We've also got a Patreon set up. You guys can come hang out, talk during the game with me. I sit right here in front of this computer, watch the game, live chat, interaction. It is a blast. The link to that Patreon is in the description below, so come check that out. Also, if you want to support by being a member, just hit the join button. It is $1, only $1. Got $1, we need the dollar. We would appreciate the support. Also want to plug Friday morning. I am a mastermind. I don't give myself credit sometimes. Sometimes I've got a good idea. Sometimes I seem like a genius. I know it's 1% of 1% when I feel like a genius. But we have Big Game Brent. You guys know who Big Game Brent is? Big Game Brent Hubs.
The OG.
Comes rolling around here before the Georgia game with me and Coach Jay on a Friday morning, and we lost. So we let him disappear. Big Game Brent comes back for the Alabama game. We're all fired up. We're all excited. Everybody's listening to Hubs talk about where he goes for breakfast in Tuscaloosa. And we lost. Big Game Brent is 0-2 when he comes on this channel. So you know what I did? I deleted his number from my freaking cell phone. And I went over to OU Insider. I said, let me get somebody from Oklahoma on the channel, and then we will guarantee a Tennessee win. So we went to on3.com. We looked up OU Insider, and we found Brandon Drum. He writes for OU Insider. He's going to come on with me and Coach Jay. He thinks we're being friendly, but we really bamboozled him to guarantee a win for the Big Orange. But in all seriousness, we connected on Twitter. I don't think there's anybody better than when you can go to the opposing team and have them come in and break down what that team does. Where are that team's strengths? Where are their weaknesses? So you want to learn about this Oklahoma football team Friday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern time. Me, Coach Jay, and Brandon Drum from OU Insider will be breaking it down. So come join us for that. X, I bet you know more about Oklahoma than Brandon Drum. So give us a little something and your score or prediction.
Well, I don't know everything about Oklahoma, but I do know a fact that the Vols are going to win. After here in a minute, I'll give you my score predictions. But basically, to break down the game of how we're going to get this dub, we pretty much summed it up. You know, we have a lot of trust and confidence, you know, in our offense. We know that Joey and the offense is going to go out there and do their thing, you know, like I said, just not even miss a beat. And then, of course, we got a three-headed monster in the backfield with our running backs, so they're going to do their thing as well. So all the confidence is there. And then the big plus of it is that it's in Neyland, dark mode activated, night game. You know, the fans are going to be hyped up, ready to go, going to be lit, turned, all that. So really confident there. But yeah, man, it's just this defense, man. This Tim Banks defense. And once again, I'll say I'm not asking for Tim Banks to be fired or anything. I'm not on that train yet. I just want to see improvement, and I just want to see just all around just better tackling, man. Like I said, it comes back to fundamentals. That's just what it just needs to come back to. Hopefully that, you know, this defense will get it dialed up, cleaned up going into this game, because yeah, this is a big game. Like I said earlier, this is a game that is going to get you into the playoffs. Now, I know, like I said, we'll worry about Vandy and the Gators a little bit later, but yeah, this game in front of you is definitely a must win. You have to take care of business here. So, but like I said, with all that being said, I got the Vols 37-24 is where I got us at for this dub.
I'll take that score. I feel like I should go next and take all the meat off the bone, but I'll leave you all a little something. Go ahead, Scoops. Give us your prediction.
Man, it's dark mode, Neyland Stadium. There ain't no love in Oklahoma. We saw Josh Heupel go back to Norman last year. This year, Norman, Oklahoma, the Sooners are coming to Knoxville. Josh Heupel, deep down, he was a Heisman winner at Oklahoma. He did everything he could do there at Oklahoma. He was there at New York. He represented the Sooner Nation on his brand, a guy that was just a JUCO guy that made it out. We saw what Bob Stoops did to him. Last year was a lot to get off his plate, man. I understand some of that, you know, that hatred, probably some of that turmoil probably died down. But deep down, you know Josh Heupel wants this game. There's a lot of things in life when like you want to tell someone something that like is bothering you that you keep to yourself. I think Josh Heupel and his Oklahoma past, that's something that he might not tell everybody, but he knows deep down in his heart that this game means something to him, man. Ain't no love in Oklahoma. Kneeling loud, dark mode. I think the defense is going to have a way to create some turnovers, get the ball back for this offense. I think we're going to come out fired up, get off the field on third down, get the crowd into it. I think that's the biggest thing. A lot of times they've exhausted the crowd at home. This is one of those games that I think that we're going to take over, be kneeling loud, be borderline dangerous, man. And you know, it doesn't matter who's out there on defense. I have a little prediction before the injury reports come out. I think Colton Hood will play. We'll see what the injury report says, obviously. Holding out hope. Yeah, I think Jamal is still doubtful. But, man, we're going to find a way. We're going to get to John Mateer. We're going to make him uncomfortable. Joey Aguilar is going to go out there and do his thing. And I think that we're going to take the top off this Oklahoma defense with Joey and Chris Brazell and put them down. I got the Vols 41, Oklahoma 27.
Man. Dobber, I know you don't have that same score. After the lack of confidence you had in this defense, you're holding Oklahoma to 27.
Let's go, Dob. Let's go.
Let me hit this super chat real quick. Gary Harper for another 10. Oklahoma's played one game away from home. South Carolina don't count. They are ready for Neyland at 9. Dude, it's going to be electric. It is going to be hostile. There is nothing.
It's going to be hype.
I know everybody keeps saying it, but it's Neyland at night and it's dark mode. That's all you need to know. That's the storyline. It's going to be freaking unmatched.
The game will be over when Spooky Rocky Top hits before kickoff.
You heard it here first. Dobber, what do you got?
I just got cold chills right now.
You're welcome.
So, listen, it's going to be crazy. The two loudest times that I've been in Neyland, 98 Florida, no siree, when they missed the field goal, and then was 2014 Baker Mayfield, Oklahoma. It was deafening loud in there. And then X's boy, Butch Jones, screwed the pooch.
It is what it is.
Fourth and inside the 1, he decides to kick a field goal. It was, up big and then just salted that away. You nailed it, Scoops. I think all the emotions and all of that out the window last year when Heupel went to Norman and got the W. This team has a lot to play for. They've got things to correct, but I think they're going to have the Neyland effect on their side. They're going to have things rolling. This offense is going to get going. And like you said, I think the defense is going to find a way to get it done. They're going to get after Mateer. And I think Tennessee just rolls. And I think they ride the wave of the crowd and the atmosphere. And I showed you just a second ago. I've got the same thing. 41-27. I think the Big Orange roll, and it's another step closer to that matchup on November 29th with Vanderbilt that could determine a playoff spot.
That's when Scoops gets to see Diego Pavia play. He's excited about that.
That's when I get to see Joshua Josephs abuse Diego Pavia.
Don't let him lie to you. He's gonna cop a Diego Pavia jersey. Don't let him lie to you.
I got it twisted. Backflip Spaghetti gifted a Talkin VAWLS membership. It did not go to Boudreaux, but we appreciate the support. Y'all went nuts tonight. Y'all went nuts with the gifted memberships. Get in where you fit in. We appreciate you. Y'all have laid the story to dark mode, Neyland Stadium at night, blah, 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 blah. Josh Heupel, Oklahoma. Y'all covered it all. So for me, it's about this a really freaking good, one of the best offenses in the country against the best defense in the SEC, statistically, best defense in the SEC across the board. On the flip side, a really bad, I don't want to say that, a really bad Tennessee defense. Can they get enough stops? That's what it comes down to. Even if it's a shootout and both teams are scoring points, can Tennessee's defense get a stop? Here's an interesting stat that Josh Pate put out. Brent Venables at Oklahoma is 6-8
after a loss.
After a loss. 6-8 off a loss. On the flip side of that, Josh Heupel really damn good in Neyland Stadium. Five games. Man, he has lost 5 games at home, and 3 of those were in year 1. 2 losses at home in the last 3.5 years, and only to Kirby Smart. Josh Heupel is really good at home. Joey Aguilar, we know what he can do. I don't need to tell you the stats. You know him, where he's first in the conference in pretty much every freaking passing category there is out there. I think Joey Aguilar and this offense can score points. We know Venables is going to get creative. He's going to dial up pressure, but guess what? That's going to leave not 1, not 2, but 3 wide receivers in man coverage, and sign me up for that, because it's not just Chris Brazzell. It's not. It's Chris Brazzell. It's Mike Matthews. It's Braylon Staley. And I like seeing Ethan Davis start to come along at that tight end position as well. It's about our defense. That's the whole story for me. Can our defense get after John Mateer? Me and Scoops already talked about the struggles after the injury. I think that's a key. Can they create pressure? Something we've not really talked about. I saw some people in the chat talking about it. Oklahoma starting 2 true freshmen at offensive tackle. You want a true freshman going up against Don Bailey? Don Bailey's like 47 years old at this point. Don Bailey has been at the University of Tennessee longer than I've been alive. Don Bailey is a dude, and Don Bailey is going to have a day on Saturday. On the flip side, a true freshman's going to block Josh Josephs, Caleb Herring, Jordan Ross. Good luck with that. We're going to generate pressure, but we have to get him to the ground. They give up a lot of sacks. Statistically, they give up 2.12 sacks per game. We know Tennessee gets after the quarterback. The sacks slowed down. I saw people saying, Boogie, what happened? We can't get after the quarterback anymore. We can't get pressure anymore. That's because Kentucky changed their entire game plan based on the pressure that we are getting with our defensive line. I think Oklahoma is going to try to block Tennessee, and I think Tennessee is going to get home. But can they force the turnovers? We know Tennessee up there in the top of the country, 5 defensive touchdowns. It's Jekyll and Hyde. We force turnovers, or we give up a 95-yard drive, or we give up a freaking explosive. But I think we can force turnovers because Oklahoma is tied for 73rd in the country with 10 turnovers. We're going to have opportunities. This defense is going to have opportunities. This defense is going to give up plays. It's not going to change now. They are who they are. They're going to give up plays. They're going to give up points, but I think they do enough along with Joey Aguilar on the offense. Tennessee, boys, it's a nail biter. Tennessee 42, Oklahoma 38. Boogie crashes out on the floor, has a heart attack. We don't go live for the post-game show, and it's the end of the Talkin Vols network. But Tennessee gets the win. I am sweating. I am burning up. Boys, it is going to be electric. Dark mode, Neyland at night. I cannot freaking wait. Noah James gifted a Talkin Vols membership. Man, we appreciate you guys for the love, for the support. You guys know me, man. I'm all about the environment. I want to create a fun environment for you guys, a fun community. It's worth it to play some music and get fired up and get excited, because I know you guys are going to show up, show out, and show love and keep this dang thing rolling. So I appreciate your support. I hope you guys enjoyed the tunes. We got a big one coming up on Friday morning. Me, Coach Jay, I just saw that Foul Ming is actually alive. I thought he was dead. He is still alive. We're going to have him on the show Friday morning, I hope. I don't know. We'll find out. Saturday, an hour before kickoff. Saturday, immediately following the game. But that is going to do it for this one. For Dauber, for the X Factor, for Scoops, my name is Boogie Bentley. This is the Talkin Vols Network. Go Big Orange.